everyone? Hope you're doing well. This is the second time I started this recording, so that usually doesn't happen. I usually do it in one take, but my voice was not doing so well. I think it's allergies, but started coughing. It was not pretty. So hopefully I can get through this one without I don't know, my voice going. So today, I think I say this before every half day. This is like a full day. We just don't have recess, which is probably good because I think we would be inside anyways. I don't know if we have the gym today or not, but I suspect we'll probably be inside for the rest of the week. So I'm sure we'll get the gym one day, but one day we'll have recess in the classroom, which, not nearly as fun, but just way too cold to go outside. But I leave here at the end of a half day just as tired as if we were here a full day. So we get in most of the classwork, right? We just don't have lunch, recess, that kind of stuff. We don't have flex. So today there will be like excuse me, 4 assignments that you could do, hopefully that you've already done. I don't know about the quiz that was just released yesterday, but 3 cheers for the nanny state. That should go into Power School today. You all have UA last block. I think I will look those over and assess them. The last time I looked at them, there were only 18 done. So we're at the beginning of a quarter, and like every 0 really crushes you. Like that study guide. If you didn't do it at all, you get like a 50 for the class. So try to get those things in by the end of the day. 3 cheers for the nanny state. We also have Band the Band. We also have 2 assignments for the vocabulary for Band the Band. We have the study guide, and then we have the vocabulary quiz. And then today, there probably will be another Google form dealing with Chief Joseph. So this is actually called Words Don't Pay, but I don't know. I just remember it better with Chief Joseph. So hopefully you will also remember it better. There's a little bit of a background on him on the side, but I don't think we really need to read that. Maybe we'll glance at it, but hopefully based on yesterday's videos, you know quite a bit about this guy, Chief Joseph. He was affected by something that was called the Indian Removal Act of the 1830s. He comes quite a bit after because he's not even born until 1840, but it affects him. He is living in Oregon. Almost all of the Indian Removal Act took place on the East Coast. He's on the West Coast. So he's the guy that tried to get all of his people to Canada to be safe, lost a bunch of people on the way, starving, not easy. They walked, I think in the video it said 1,300 miles. I think in the thing that we read today is going to say 1,600 miles. So whatever, he walked a lot with his people. U.S. Army eventually got him and then sent him and everyone with him to eventually Oklahoma. And then we learned yesterday that U.S. government said, hey, Oklahoma is going to be this territory just for you. And then, well, got too many people. Hey, it's going to become a state. So unfortunately, that is a very common story when it comes to Native Americans and, excuse me, the U.S. government. So let's pull this thing up. We can start reading this so you don't have to. And hey, good news, no study guide for this thing. But in lieu of a study guide, what I would like to do is review a concept with you called context clues. If anybody knows what context clues are, I would love to pause, hear what you have to say, because it's like super important. It's like what good readers do. So hopefully somebody had a little something to say about context clues, but it's like when you don't know a word, but you know the rest of the words around that word. So like process of elimination, you're like, you don't look it up in a dictionary or anything, Google search. It's just like, I think I know what that means. And it really doesn't slow you down that much. So let's bring this up. Words don't pay. We normally skip this whole thing here. Now we will, Chief Joseph. Yeah, we don't have to read that. I think we're good, right? Wait, his doctor said he died of a broken heart. Oh, it's too bad. We didn't hear that before, but we don't have to read that. So concept vocabulary, we got misrepresentations, misunderstandings. Every time you see miss in front of a word, think like the opposite. So misheard is another one. So like, hey, I heard you. Yeah. Oh, wait, I misheard you. So whatever that person said, for some reason, it didn't make sense in your brain and you kind of messed it up or something like that. Maybe somebody's tone. So you understand somebody. Oh, wait, I misunderstood you. So anytime you have that miss in front of a word, think the opposite. Okay. So context clues right here. I probably can't highlight this thing, but I would like to read it. To find the meaning of an unfamiliar word, look for clues in the context. The context is just like the way it's said, which consists of other words that surround the unknown word in a text. If you're still unsure of the meaning, look up the word in the dictionary. Consider this example of how to apply the strategy. So I would say, like, if at all possible, don't like stop your reading very long to like go to another website to look anything up. Unless, I don't know. I'm an English teacher, so sometimes when I come to a word I don't know, which is almost daily, if the word seems interesting, I will take some time and look it up. But other than that, I mean, if I know like most of the words on the page as I'm reading one little word, it's probably not going to make a big difference. So I usually don't sacrifice that time to look something up. I'd rather just concentrate on the words I know. But that's up to you. Just depends. Hopefully it doesn't, not let you know the meaning of what you're reading. Obviously, if you don't understand what you're reading, then look it up. But how about this example right here? Good words will neither return our land nor restore our way of life. So if you look at good words will not return or restore something that has been taken, the possible meaning of restore is to give back or return. It's possible, just in case you didn't know restore. But I think most people, especially if you're a gamer, you probably do know like restore, because sometimes when you get new updates or whatever, you have to go back to the original. I'm not a gamer, so I don't exactly know, but like before the update, whatever that is, right? So I don't know what that's called, but I can explain it. So a lot of times that really helps when you don't know a word, but you can kind of explain it. So you often have to restore things with technology. So you might know that word already. Let's get into the reading, but that's what context clues are. Just using the words around you. Good readers do that all the time. I'm sure most of you do that already. We're not going to really worry too much about that. But let's look at this. This is a persuasive speech. I'm wondering. We'll pause it right here. Persuasive. That's the adjective. Persuade. That would be the verb, to do something. What do you do when you persuade somebody? I'll pause it here. Yeah, you try to get them to think like you think. Try to get them on your side. Okay. And I'm sure Chief Joseph has a lot to say about this, because he has been done wrong so many times. So he actually goes to Washington. Let's read this little part here, but he's actually delivering this in Washington. We saw that he actually met with the president at the time, Rutherford B. Hayes. I believe you've talked about Rutherford B. Hayes in Mr. Bim's class. If anybody remembers anything about Rutherford B. Hayes, 1876, right? Wasn't it 1876, which is kind of like the end of Reconstruction, because there was another guy. Don't ask me how I know this, but you may remember this. Samuel J. Tilden, I think was his name. I'm not sure about the middle name, but he might have won the election. Rutherford B. Hayes, it was really close. So basically the South said, if you want that Rutherford B. Hayes guy to win, cool, but you get your troops out of the South and they didn't say it like that, but Reconstruction ends. So, it really set back the rights of all people in the South, maybe even all around the country, a long time, because Reconstruction ended in 1876 with the election of Rutherford B. Hayes. All right, back to this. Background. You know what? Actually, we don't need to read this, right? Because we We know this. We know this from yesterday. Okay. Now, this is his speech. I do not understand why nothing is done for my people. I've heard talk and talk, but nothing is done. Good words do not last long unless they amount to something. Words do not pay for my dead people. They do not pay for my country, now overrun by white men. They do not protect my father's grave. They do not pay for all my horses and cattle. Good words will not give me back my children. Good words will not make good the promise of your war chief, General Miles. Good words will not give my people good health and stop them from dying. Good words will not get my people a home where they can live in peace, take care of themselves. I'm tired of talk that comes to nothing. My heart is sick when I remember all the good words and all the broken promises. There's been too much talking by men who had no right to talk. Too many misrepresentations have been made. Too many misunderstandings have come up between the white men about the Indians. I'm going to go right at the top here in case you lost your place. If the white man wants to live in peace with the Indian, he can live in peace. There need be no trouble. Treat all men alike. Give them all the same law. Give them all an even chance to live and grow. All men were made by the same great spirit chief. They're all brothers. The earth is the mother of all people, and all people should have equal rights upon it. You might well expect the rivers to run backwards, as that any man who was born a free man should be contented when pinned up and denied liberty to go where he pleases. Let me be a free man, free to travel, free to stop, free to work, free to trade where I choose, free to choose my own teachers, free to follow the religion of my fathers, free to think and talk and act for myself, and I will obey every law or submit to the penalty. All right. So this is going on, a bit long. But one thing I would like to talk about maybe tomorrow, since this is like, there it is. We already talked about this, right? So the opposite. But one thing that Chief Joseph does, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow, is some of the things that many people who lecture, give speeches, one of the, I think, best speeches ever, most of them, a lot of them at least. Anytime Dr. Martin Luther King, took a microphone. So maybe we'll take a look at one of his speeches where he uses a lot of the same techniques that Chief Joseph does, and that is repetition. So I'm not sure if you, I'm sure you did. As I read this, Chief Joseph started some of his sentences in a row the exact same way. And that repetition can be helpful in convincing people, or at least making them pay attention to what you're saying. So this is going on long. We only have, half day. So let's stop there. There is a Google form for this. There is also a couple other assignments. Google form. This one's not due until next Friday. If you haven't gotten the 3 cheers for the nanny state done yet, might want to do that first. If there is any time, we'll get a little Frank and beans. But if it looks like everybody needs some time to work, then we will do that. How about